Welcome to Shep Rambles, where I am Shep and I tend to ramble. Hopefully you still recognize me. About what? Anything and everything. Yeah, the last episode I didn't have this right here. But then the last episode was a little ways ago. I haven't done one of these in a while. But I came across this article which I thought was interesting. Oh, it's Samuel Jackson down here below. Yay! Pull out that purple lightsaber and say, what's in your wallet? I got a purple lightsaber. Anyway, there's this thing going on here where Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash are, I guess, suing California $90 million to fight against that gig worker law in California. That law that is basically saying, no, these guys are going to be employees. So under the ballot measure, drivers could get earnings guarantee of 120% of minimum wage. Why does this sound too good to be true? I mean, people have been complaining about like DoorDash taking tips or Uber and Lyft continuing to reduce the amount that they're paying drivers. But this is only California. It's not anywhere else. At least, not yet, anyway. But still, it just sounds a little too good to be true. But let's take a look and see what it says here. So, a group of drivers and couriers for Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash launched a new group called Protect App-Based Drivers and Services. Okay, so so this isn't really Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash that's doing it. This is a group of drivers and couriers. Okay, so drivers as in Uber and Lyft, and couriers like food delivery for Uber Eats and DoorDash. Anyway, they launched a new group called Protect App-Based Drivers and Services. That's a link. You can click on that. And this article will be in the description, as well as another article that we'll get to here in a moment. Anyway, this is aimed at passing a ballot initiative in California to counteract the effects of the state's recently passed gig worker bill. Okay, so I have seen some videos, read some articles where there are drivers and couriers who are not happy about the whole law that's been passed because they want their independence as far as being a contractor. Oh man, who have I know Gig Coach Jake is one YouTuber who I've watched, and then the other one, I think it's Dustin is Driving, I think is the other one that I had looked at. But he's the one that says that's a negative ghostwriter. He's the YouTuber that says that. Anyway, this effort is being supported. Okay, so this is being supported by the companies, which have vowed to spend $90 million to get the measure passed in 2020. Now, that's a lot of money. $90 million. Why not just, instead of fighting it, why not just do what the drivers wanted to do in the first place? $90 million. My goodness, you could, maybe it's just chump change. I don't know. I mean, compared to paying out all the drivers and couriers that are out there, it just seems to me that they could have avoided this whole thing to begin with. But now they spent all this money the first time around, and now they're going to spend all this money the second time around. And I'm thinking like these gig services, they're just going to pay drivers less than they're already getting paid. I do. I do gig driving also. I do DoorDash and Uber Eats. No way am I going to do driving for Uber. I've seen too many scary videos in regards to that. And plus, I don't want to use my car to take people around. So yeah, so I do DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Postmates, and plus I do deliveries for Amazon. So I've got those four that I do. And out of those, I'd have to say I like Amazon better, uh, and, which is kind of like not what this article is about. But just to kind of go on a little side note, I like Amazon better because you go and pick up a route. You know how much you're going to get paid. It's not guesswork. You know that if you sign up for a shift, you're going to get paid this amount of money. And when you pick everything up, you're given a route, which is going to be contained pretty much in an area. Sometimes it's spread out a little bit, but you go from point A to point B to point C, you know, and just go around and deliver. And I've found that the gas that you spend and the time that you spend is most of the time more productive and more beneficial than just doing food deliveries. Food deliveries, they can have you going this way, back this way, back this way, over there, over there, over there, you know, and you wind up spending more gas and more time. And some people tip and some don't, and sometimes it's just not worth it. What I found seems to be good for me in regards to the food deliveries is maybe doing, you know, 2 or 3 a day, or you know, or in an evening or something. You know, just log in, take a delivery, maybe take another one, and you know, and not do it for 4 or 5 hours. You know, just take a couple. You know, and I've got 3 food deliveries, so I can like do 2 on this one, 2 on this one, 2 on this one, and just call it a day. And that, I don't know, that seems to work a little better. But anyway, getting back into this, that bill is called Assembly 5, which was signed into law on September 18th. But this enshrines the so-called ABC test for determining whether someone is a contractor or employee. Legal experts agree the law will make it more difficult for gig economy companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash to classify their drivers and couriers as independent contractors. And the companies have argued that the law represents an existential, to their business models. As such, the companies were preparing this contingency plan even before Newsom signed the bill into law. So on August 29th, New York Times reported that Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash would spend $90 million, basically $30 million each, to pass a ballot initiative that would essentially exempt them from the law. Instacart is also involved, but it hasn't committed to spend any money to support its passage. Instacart is like, you all spend the money. We're good. I'm going to get out of here. Anyway, the hope was after striking out with the lawmakers and labor groups, the companies could win a reprieve by appealing directly to voters. So, the ballot measure would ask voters to approve the following: at least 120% of the minimum wage, 30 cents per mile for expenses such as gas and vehicle wear and tear, healthcare subsidies consistent with employer contributions under the Affordable Care Act. Well, that's not going to be affordable. For drivers who work 15 hours a week or more, but anyway, occupational accident insurance to cover on-the-job injuries, automobile accident and liability insurance, protection against discrimination and sexual harassment, recurring background checks of drivers, mandatory safety training of drivers, zero tolerance for alcohol and drug offenses, and a cap on driver hours per day to prevent sleepy driving. I'm not sure about that last one. I don't think the cap is to prevent sleepy driving. I think the cap is to prevent people from making a good amount of money. In other words, they'll put a cap on the driving so you're not able to work all day. Maybe you can only like pick up a 3 or 4 hour shift and you're done, for that day. So I'm not sure about that last one. But anyway, it's a new spin on the failed proposal that Uber and Lyft presented to state officials as a compromise to prevent the passage of AB5. The companies had promised to pay their drivers $21 an hour, but only while on a trip, provide them with sick leave, and empower them to have a collective voice, a nod toward drivers forming a union. This just goes against all the stuff that I've heard in regards to the gig stuff, where they're just like, we want to do what's right for you drivers. We want to pay you more. We want to do better. I'm like, come on. They keep changing things around and trying to find reasons to pay you less rather than pay you more. And this has been a recurring historical thing with these gig companies. Anyway, after AB5 passed, Uber and Lyft warned that drivers could lose their flexibility to drive when they want it. Drivers would not be able to choose when to sign on anytime they want. They would work in shifts like every other employee work in shifts. Experts have said there is nothing in federal or state law that precludes Uber from offering its drivers the same flexibility as employees they now have as contractors. Now, another reason they could be using this money to fight is because there may be a lot of drivers, that want that flexibility, that may just say, screw it, I don't want this anymore. And then there's not going to be drivers who are going to be working Uber and Lyft and DoorDash, and then they really will lose money. So, I don't know. Sounds like a catch-22. Anyway, the ballot measure is a risky and costly move for Uber and Lyft insofar as it could further antagonize labor unions that have been hugely influential over the passage of AB5. Unions championed the bill throughout the legislative process and have been at the center of the fight over gig work in California. This measure is another brazen attempt by some of the richest corporations in California to avoid playing by the same rules as all other law-abiding companies in our state. Art Pulaski said. I see Pulaski and I think Dr. Pulaski from the second year of Next Generation, which I like that character, but they just pretty much did away with her after season 2. California's unions will join drivers who want fair wages, better treatment, and flexibility to defeat this corporate ploy. That's pretty much all there is on this, and that article is from The Verge. But got another one here from the Los Angeles Times. I won't read this whole thing here. It's written a little differently, but it says here that this is going to be one of the most expensive issue campaigns in California history. The proposal, which Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash intend to qualify for the statewide ballot next November, states that an app-based driver is an independent contractor as long as a series of conditions are met by a company. If approved by voters, the initiative would also enshrine in state law a number of perks for those workers, which we talked about from the other article, including a minimum amount of pay as well as insurance to cover work-related injuries and auto accidents. Don't they already have this? Well, I know at least with Amazon, it's like, and I thought DoorDash too, like there is like an insurance thing to cover you while you're on the job. I could have sworn there was one. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm just thinking of just Amazon. And it lays out detail. Of course, maybe that's just California. I'm not in California. I'll leave it at that. And it lays out details for healthcare subsidies, protections against on-the-job harassment, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we talked about that. But this is a longer, well, maybe not longer. I don't know. Looks about the same length. But anyway, I'll include both of these articles in the description, and you can check them out and read them. And I'm interested in your thoughts in regards to Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates. I'm sure probably Amazon is in there because it would be considered courier. But let me know. Let me know what you think about all this. Are you from California, and do you applaud the new law that went into effect? No, it doesn't go into effect in 2020. Passed. That's what I meant to say. Or do you live in another state and you're afraid that this crap is going to go to that state? Do you want to be employee? Do you want your flexibility in being a contractor? It's like each one has got a good and a bad thing about it. I don't think you can win either way. You're either going to win some or you're going to lose some. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm interested to hear from you. And like this video, if you thumbs up if you appreciate it, what this video has, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're looking to build up the killer community here, and ring the notification bell to let you know when there is another video that's uploaded to this channel, because I upload videos all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm working on getting videos up every single day of the week, where every day has got a different theme. Most of those are all gaming videos, but the Shep Rambles thing is kind of like, here and there. I try to do. I've been so busy, that's why I haven't done a Shep Rambles. I've set articles aside, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. But basically, I just kind of go through articles that I think are interesting, and I share it with you, because you might find it interesting. But anyway, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next rambling video.